Hey everyone, thank you for joining the Two Texas Teas podcast. I'm your host, Don, with co-host Lawson. Join us today as we talk about family, politics, government, technology, business, and allegations, all focused around Central Texas. Join us every other Sunday. And if you want to learn more, visit our website at twotexasteas.com and follow us on social media, like and subscribe at Two Texas Teas. Let's get into it. Go ahead and talk. What I was mentioning before, very good constituent services for John Cornyn's office. And funny story, it was Henry, who, I'm sorry, Henry, if you are watching this podcast, I have not contacted you in many of months and years, but I still think about you every once in a while. And I really appreciate the calendars you would send to me, because that was the first letter that I ever got from a senator. And I thought when I first saw it, because it said U.S. Senate's office, that it was the most important document ever. I thought I was being recruited into like the CIA or something, because it said like U.S.
Incredible.
Senate. I was like, what is this? And then I opened it and it was a calendar. And I was like, oh, this is very touching. I appreciate it. And I appreciate all the gifts that y'all have given me. The only thing about Cornyn, though, the funny story, and it has to do with the Martin Luther King parade. We can segue into that.
Oh, yes, we got to talk about that in a minute. Mm-hmm.
Yes. He owes me a picture that I have been trying to get with him for like 2 to 3 times now. And every time we're together at the same event, which has been multiple events, I used to work on Congress, he would have been like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, his staff would be like, oh, he has to go to another engagement really quickly, or he won't be able to do it right now because he's only going to be here for a few seconds. But apparently, I had asked so many times that he had known me on staff. He was like, oh, I'm going to get Don his picture eventually. Eventually never came. It's just like, oh, man. Like, and then now I haven't talked to them in a minute, but I'm certain if I bring it back up to Henry and everyone else and be like, hey, y'all, I would like my picture from the senator, they'll probably start laughing about it.
Listen, I mean, I don't, you're right. I don't agree with a lot of his policies. His constituent services have always been top notch. Before we started recording, I was mentioning, because we were talking about just like on the lookout, right, of all the different races that are coming in in Texas right now, and his is one of them. When I had to go speak for a food advocacy convention in DC, I took my son with me, which was really cool because it was also like Mother's Day, like, close to Mother's Day, and so we got to have like this like trip, and he got to see me like in action. And I wanted him to also visit like the Capitol and us do like the whole the typical you're in DC tours, right? And I reached out to the Castro office, got no response. I reached out to Greg Casar's office, got no response. And on a whim, I was asked, like, why don't you reach out to Cornyn's office? You're in his like space, and like, why, you're a constituent of his, ask him. I'm like, all right. Like, I highly doubt it, considering that I'm not necessarily his target voter, that I would get a response. And his staff was like immediate to respond to me and invited us to go like visit with him afterwards, and got us the tickets to, like, you know, the passes, and registered us to be able to do the tour and the whole 9 yards. And it was very, very impressive, and I really appreciated it. And we got to, you know, meet with him afterwards, and that was cool for my kid, like, because my kid doesn't see party lines and didn't at the time and understand kind of what the differences were with everybody, but he thought it was just like really cool that he was meeting a lawmaker. And so I, regardless of like how I feel about his views on things, I did appreciate the effort that he made for his constituent services, because that's how you stay in office, is, you know, it's constituent services.
Yes, it is.
And so that's my little nugget on Cornyn. And I'm just disappointed that he's kind of started to bend a knee more to the very extreme side of the Republican Party, because he was kind of one of the last ones like holding that line of like bipartisanship opportunities. And I mean, I really hope eventually we get back there, because it's rough out here. All right, guys, we listened, and I am currently working on some merchandise designs. So I am really, really excited for me to, and all of us here at Two Texas Teas, to launch some wonderful merch that you can find on our website at twotexasteas.com, and rep it with us. Let everybody know what Two Texas Teas is all about. Again, the website is twotexasteas.com, where you can get your bumper stickers, your sweaters, your caps, get a mug so you can pour out the tea with us. Go onto our website at twotexasteas.com. See you there.
Well, but two takes on that. But before I go, like, how was the trip in general? Did you get to go to the Senate office and the Capitol and everything else?
We did. And for me, I'd been there a few times before. I mean, it wasn't my first rodeo, but as a mom, it felt like a completely different experience, and getting to
Mhm.
see like just like Luke's fascination with it. Like he's like, "Wait, so like this is where like the president and everybody comes in for meetings?" And we're like, "Yeah, they're like right there. Like this
Yeah.
is where like the cabinet shows up." And what like we just it was just really cool for him to like feel like he was like it was a Hamilton moment. We were like in the room where it happens. And I like loved it. It was cool because it like just to kind of the hot takes that he was seeing. He saw different things that I had never really considered before, and it was just a really really cool experience. And I appreciated that the senator really gave him that opportunity.
How far deep into the tunnels did you get underneath the Capitol? And then for those who don't
Oh
know, there
man,
are hella tunnels underneath Washington D.C., which is a
I
weird thing.
am
But
I'm sworn to some secrecy.
oh,
So
okay, you went into those tunnels. Even I, who worked there, only got to go through one of the levels of tunnels. I didn't know they were like, I should say, no pun intended. There's levels to it. I mean, the deeper you go into the Capitol, they got money down there, just all types of security. No, I don't know,
they got
but
things. I mean,
they
honestly,
do
like
got things.
I want to understand because like when you think like a when you think basement, you think you're like at the very like and they're like, "Oh no, there's like levels underneath here." I'm like,
Levels,
"Damn. How
yes.
hot is it at that point?" Cuz I'm like, "How close to the core of the earth are we getting?"
Whenever they need to expand the Capitol, the first idea that comes up is how far down can we dig and just build another
Literally.
basement? I mean, it makes sense, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it is something that takes you off guard when you go and visit for the first time. Because the first time I went inside, well, actually, the second time I went inside the Capitol was working, and we had a meeting. And I remember us walking through a tunnel from the Canon office building into the Capitol. I was like, all right, that's cool. And then you get to a stairwell and you just look down and you're like, oh, okay, there's multiple meeting rooms underneath the Capitol. It's pretty interesting all the way to navigate. You know what else city has a very
Yeah.
sketchy tunnel, which is San Antonio. But you know we can talk
Mhm.
about that another time. And then the other half of it,
Oh yeah.
constituent services does make all the matter. As a politician, as an elected official, you have to make sure your constituent services is one of the best operations that you have inside of your office
100%.
because nobody really, I mean, people will care about what you say on TV and your political positions, but if I can pick up the phone, if a constituent can pick up the phone and they reach out to you and somebody answers the phone
Yeah.
and they're real sincere about helping you, you will stay in office for a long time because you got that operations going. And then unfortunately, like you said,
Absolutely.
we don't know the parameters or the circumstances on why those two offices didn't answer the phone. But I just know when I was working as a congressional aide, we prioritized answering the phone. And then on top of that, every elected official's office, I guess you would probably agree, is like its own miniature small business. So they have their own
Mhm.
operations and how they do things. And some people prioritize constituent services and other people.
Yep.
Right?
And I mean, and Don, and you and I kind of talked on, block walking and stuff. Like, what is the first question people ask when you're at the door? It's like, what are you going to do for me? Like,
Right.
nobody cares about, like, I'm going to bring policy change and da 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 and get into like the jargon and nuances of like the job. They're like, no, I want to see a direct impact. Like, what are you going to do for
Right.
me? And it's like, answer the damn phone. Like, that's all people want is for you to answer the phone.
If circumstances were different and you were in office, would you make a because uh Congressman Hurd did this one time where he answered the phone and the constituent on the other end was upset about something and he answered, it was hilarious. He answered the phone and the constituent was like, yeah, I want to speak to somebody about what's going on in my neighborhood. And he was like, oh, this is Congressman Hurd. And they were like, what? So I guess my question is, would you every once in a while answer the phone yourself, or you just like, I don't know, I might want to have a little barrier between. Actually, you
I
actually did do
no,
stuff
not
like that
even every
already.
once in a while. Like, when I was campaigning, one of the things that I would tell people is, like, "You're gonna be obnoxiously aware of where I'm at all the time. Like, you are gonna have access to me." Because I think it's important that we don't celebritize politicians, that they work for us, it is a public job. They should not be inaccessible. Like, you cannot just only see them every 2 to 4 years depending on what your election cycle is. Like,
Right.
you should be able to say, like, "Hey, by the way, you have a job because I gave it to you, and so I wanna see your face, and I wanna hear from the horse's mouth what's going on." And so, no, I planned on, like, continuing to block walk and showing up at people's doors. If they're so pissed off that they don't have a sidewalk, then guess what? I'm gonna show up at your door. We're gonna walk the unsidewalked street together to figure out what's going on. Like, that's what it should be.
Yeah, yeah, and then I guess there's a creep about it because when you become an elected official, you might have those same thoughts, but then I guess the business and whatever takes you away from that. But then there are
Yeah,
politicians that make that a key tenet on what
100%.
they try to do, and they go back to their neighborhoods and they walk. But there's always there's different types of politicians. There's a lot of people who are more policy work, like they like to
Yeah,
write policy, stay indoors, figure out, hammer out things. There's some people who are really good at constituents, and there's some people that are really good on media.
yeah,
Sometimes for the audience listening, like if you watch television or you watch YouTube or wherever, and you keep seeing the same politicians on clips, it might be because they're really good at it. They really do enjoy it.
yeah.
What does that mean about their operations behind the scenes? You really don't know, but that's kind of what they like to maximize. Personally, I would be the politician that goes out to every event. All you have to do as a constituent and be like, "Hey, we got food." I would be at your house immediately.
Period.
I've gotten into some really strange situations because people are like, "Oh, I got some food." I'm like, "Oh,
Oh, let me tell you,
100%."
I learned how to perfect my rice while block
Uh,
walking. I was, like, given, like, a brisket taco and a Big Red.
yes.
One time that I was block walking, I was with Larry, my husband, and we counted. I received 4 Big Reds and 1 Sprite while block walking, and I
It's
was
the
like,
greatest
"This
day
is the
ever.
best neighborhood ever. I'm always coming back." They don't have water for you, little water
Yeah,
bottles. No, they have an outdoor fridge of Big Reds and Sprite. Like, that was
amazing.
my people. I was so happy that week.
See, that's all it takes. Some politicians are like, I don't even need you. Don't if you want to bribe me, just give me a brisket. I'll figure it out. Like
Literally.
just. I mean, this is going to be recorded, but in the future, if you need me to do something, just wing, wing, like,
Warm
hey,
tortilla with butter. That's
exactly.
all. Literally, that is the, like, love language to my heart, man.
I'll remember your name forever.
Mhm.
That you gave me a brisket taco.
100%.
So the segue into our one of our topics, I guess it's kind of about constituent service, but what is it today? The 20th. So yesterday or the day before was Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah.
And to a shock to people who don't live in Texas, if I were to ask the audience what city has the largest Martin Luther King parade in the country, you probably wouldn't get it right.
Mhm. No.
How was your experience? How was it? How cold was it? How many hand warmers did you have
Oh,
stuffed into
man.
your gloves?
So Dawn and I went last year together, and we were talking about it actually. Like, 'cause I was like, "Hey, I'm going to be out there with my son." I was very honored to be invited by Big Brothers Big Sisters to be a part of their group of people to walk in this year's MLK march. San Antonio has the largest march in the nation, which is amazing. And it started off like, when I left my house, it was 27 degrees. By
Mm,
the time the march happened, it was 57 degrees. By the time the march ended, it was 67 degrees.
okay,
Um,
okay.
so it escalated very quickly. I only took 1 puffer jacket and a sweatshirt. Like, I did not have to layer. Last year, my I had my thermals on. I went, like, if I was, like, going to, like, the, like, Pacific Northwest and,
It
like,
was
my, like,
freezing.
mountains. I mean, I was wearing my snow boots out there last year. I had my electric puffer jacket and my parka on last year. This year I did not have any of those things. I had 1 puffer jacket, and it was a normal one. I gave Luke my electric one because Luke is now big enough that he can wear the same size as me, and I'm heartbroken. But it's always really, really inspiring, and you just feel fired up. This year in particular, the community really utilized the platform to just speak out on a lot of the injustices going on with ICE and at the federal level. saw so many signs and protest signs that were just talking about that, talking about workforce and just, equality on workforce. It was really cool because my son had seen that they were passing out the rainbow flags, and he was like, "Can I
Mm,
get one?" I was like, "Get me one, get you one." Like, I love this. And I love that, like, you saw, like, just everybody, like, across, like, just was, like, united with, like, the rainbow flags. And there's a point in the march right before at the very end, it's like the last leg, and you're at the top and you can see down at the end of
mhm,
the march. And, um I get, like, choked up because it's just cool just to see, like, the wave of people and how, like, we are so intentional about coming together in solidarity and to reflect on just, like, the need to keep fighting. And
right,
I always, like, I lived in Houston for a minute, and we could definitely need to go into a segment of this later of, like, just being I grew up in a very predominantly, like, Hispanic town and was not really introduced to, a Black community until I moved to Houston. And I will say, like, Black joy is, like, a whole other level of, like, beauty and amazement. And it is just, like, really cool just to, like, experience just the positivity and the desire for healing, when you're in this march. So
right.
I mean, 10 out of 10. If anybody who lives in San Antonio or in the surrounding areas has not experienced this yet, you don't need to be with an organization to go. You literally just show up,
Show up.
and it is just the coolest experience. And I'm really glad that, like, this is Luke's second year in a row, and it was just kind of a flex for him that he's like, "Oh yeah, I've been here twice already," and
Right.
just to go experience that, just phenomenal, amazing.
It is an excellent experience. It is a very shocking to know about that. My first ever experience going to the Martin Luther King parade was back when I was working in city council, and when they explained to me that it was the largest march in the nation, I kind of was like, I don't. That doesn't seem like it's right. So even like the meta on that, when I first moved to San Antonio, Texas, my brother made the joke that he's like, there's only like 10 other black people in this entire city. So, I mean, San Antonio, as far as diversity, I mean, there's the pockets, but you work in government and you
Mhm.
go around and you meet people, and then you go to events in government and you see the same few black people over and over and over again.
Mhm.
You're like, oh, okay, well, I mean, I guess that's how it is. And then me coming from Columbus, Ohio, and North Carolina, where it's just like a completely different group of people in each state. I thought that was pretty funny. And then you get to your
Mhm.
first Martin Luther King parade, and you're just like, where the hell did all these people come from? Like,
Where have y'all been?
where have y'all been? I was just spinning around in circles, like I cannot believe. You look back and you're just like, damn, like there's black people everywhere around here. But then
Mhm.
I think when I had gotten there, I did it. It was during, I guess, Trump's first administration, and a lot of people were using that as a march to remind people about not just Martin Luther King's values, but also against like some of the things that he was trying to do in his first term. And so those side of the streets are littered with different protest signs. There's a lot of organizations that do really good for the community. And overall, like not only the fact that there are like a lot of people that are brought together under one cause. I just felt like it's a very good vibes at the Martin Luther King parade. Like people are all like having a great time.
Mhm.
The people on the
100%.
side of the road have music playing, like the food that you get on the side of the road, the different organizations. And when I first got there, I mean, I didn't really know many of the organizations in the city, but as you go multiple years, you
Yeah.
start to recognize like, oh, this organization is over here, and this organization is over here. I guess there are some kind of gray area negatives where if the Martin Luther King parade takes place in an election season, then you start to see candidates and you can kind of map out like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, this candidate has a huge following, so perhaps they'll try to do better in such and such election. Now that the elections are different in November, maybe
Mhm.
not so much. Maybe it might be a kickoff. I don't know. I mean, I think January kickoff might be.
I saw
Uh,
I saw Ron Nierenberg there with his
yeah,
campaign team
yeah,
for county judge. I saw the Castros were there. Definitely was I mean, the politicians were out, right? And it is campaign season for them because they
yes,
have
yes,
primaries. I mean, November is the general
true,
election,
true,
but
true.
we got to get through the primaries. And San Antonio is always one of those that I think that the Republican Party is always trying to penetrate because we are very deep blue as a
Hmm.
county, Bear County is. And so it was folks were out. Folks were out, folks were thriving. But it was I will say I think that like it's just it is such a profound moment to be out
Hmm.
there and just to feel joy, and especially right now where I think that all of us are just so tired. you just feel like you're just like vibing off the energy of each other and just being there in solidarity. And it was, like I said, beautiful day for a walk. I should have like had like brought my coffee with me, but it's just like I
Hmm.
never know because like it is such a long walk and there are no bathroom breaks if you have to like
No, no.
go pee real quick. I mean, I have
Yes.
my bladder is like this big.
Especially last year. I got out of the car and I
Imagine I'm like layered up.
had
I'm
three
like a
sets of gloves
Victorian
on,
woman.
4 sets of socks on, and then I guess you let me know just recently that you had an electric jacket on last year, where I had like 4 shirts on, and I was like, well, this is it. Like if I freeze to death, I'll freeze to death, but at least I'm gonna be out there having fun. And you go and you have your hand warmers and
Exactly.
your gloves, and you start feeling your hand warmers get cold. You're like, oh hell, did somebody got some more hand warmers? It is luckily there are people pulling carts with a lot of like water and hand warmers, so I went and took a few more and like stuffed them around you. But I mean, it stayed pretty cold for the majority of the walk. I mean, we didn't do it this year or last year, but I think when I was working in city council and also for the Congress, what we ended. So you made it to an ad break, but unfortunately, this early on, we do not have any sponsors. But if you are interested in being a sponsor for Two Texas Teas, please visit our website at twotexasteas.com, or you can send us an email at listen@twotexasteas.com. We're taking all types of sponsors, whether it be a small business, a large organization, a large corporation. Just go ahead and send us an email and we'll try to get you on the show. Also, since you're here, you can always go to our website if you want any merchandise, whether that be hats, bumper stickers, t-shirts, whatever you name it. Visit our website, check out what we have to offer, and thank you for supporting the show. Now, let's get back to it. Wait a
Yay.
second. So the app just starts. So the app
Are we still recording?
just starts.
I was
We're
like,
still
keep
recording
going.
even. What is going on? I'm not gonna cut off the middle. If y'all saw me drink something, I'm sorry. And we gotta deal with this internet connection
What
and
were you drinking? What's in your cup?
it's an energy drink. We don't have branded Two Texas Teas
Dawn,
drinks yet, but
I'm
I
offended. We
know.
need to have a segment. So the whole point of this is for also us to acknowledge that we're drinking tea. Like, I'm the
Yeah,
only
that's true.
one that has been committed to the bit. Okay, I just want to make this very clear. And I do want to give a shout out. So yesterday I went to an antique store, like antique like
Hmm.
mall, and it's called Craftique, and they have 2 locations
Hmm.
here in San Antonio, one off of Northwest Military and one off of Bandera. And in the Northwest Military location, there is this place called Green Tea Lounge, and I had the most delicious. It was called a French ginger lemon or lemon ginger tea. I don't know. It was
Interesting.
amazing with some honey. Very good. 10 out of 10. Just want to give some kudos because I am drinking tea. I'm sipping it. I'm brewing it. I'm spilling it. I'm doing all the teas. So, Dawn, you got to, become a tea
I
enthusiast
I do
at some
gotta.
point.
I do. What's your favorite tea? What are your 3 favorite teas?
Ooh, I love jasmine tea.
Okay.
I love a chamomile. I love any so I know that Starbucks, there's a lot of controversy on Starbucks. So, I've been trying to learn how to make the medicine ball tea that they have
Okay.
there. It's like of a lemon mint citrus mint something tea. It's my favorite. So, I've been trying to like
Medicine
work.
ball.
I've
Okay.
been y- yeah,
All
qual
right. All
as
right.
can you see me okay on your end?
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine on my side. Until
Okay.
the app cuts off again and you start it again, and next thing you know, we're just back where we started. So now I got to do all this long ass editing again. But it's all right. It's the issues of being a podcaster. For the man who saw me yesterday in Walmart, I really appreciate it. I didn't know I was gonna be famous just after one episode. We will do a
Period.
lot better. I understand that in the background. I don't really have much of a display like they do on other podcasts that we had mentioned on in this show. But
Yes.
eventually, as we get, I think we had like 10 million people already view our first episode. So once we get to like 30 million, I'll buy a plant and I'll stick it there, and I get some LED signs over the top of my head, and it'll
No, my favorite
transform
is
the
that
episode.
candle holder. I was like, "Is that an urn? What's going on behind you?" No, it's a candle
Uh,
holder.
I think it's a candle holder that my grandma saw at a TJMaxx,
We
and she
love that
thought
for
it
you.
was really nice.
Honestly, grandmas have the best sense in style and taste.
They do, but TJMaxx is one of the worst stores ever when you're a kid,
Oh,
and
yes,
when you're a
okay,
kid,
period. I get
but
that, absolutely. I will
when
say
you get older.
I went after Christmas and all their
Mhm.
stuff was 50% off, and I, like, bought my heart out in Christmas stuff for next year. It's
Oh, wait,
incredible.
Christmas, you buy
Hell yeah.
stuff for next Christmas?
Oh, done. It is like the secret Christmas of Christmas because then you open up your stuff the next year because you've totally forgot it because 365 days have passed and you forgot what you bought. So you're
Interesting.
like opening up your like bins of like Christmas decor and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, look at this. It's great. I forgot I got this. And then you get excited about putting it out again. Oh my God. It is my favorite. I buy all my
What
wrapping paper, everything, and I buy it for like 50 to 75% off. And I'm like, oh, look, this wrapping paper that was $10. Well, now it's one. Joke's on
you
you that
know,
paid $10.
I did not know this. Have come to appreciate TJMaxx as I've gotten older. When I
Mm-hmm.
was a kid, my mom would lock me into TJMaxx as capital punishment, and I would have to sit there for 2 hours at a
Don't be doing your
time,
mom dirty
and
like that. She is a
I
queen.
I I did not understand what this store was. However, she would be nice about it and be like, "Go ahead and get you a shirt." I was like, "This is not bribe enough for me to wanna stay in here." Then one day when I was moving into my first apartment in San Antonio, I was like, I need to go somewhere to go buy, I guess, different pieces of furniture and clothes and stuff and that. And then my mom was like, "Why don't you go to TJ Maxx?" And I walked into TJ Maxx with a new like maturity, and
Uh-huh.
I looked around and I was like, "Oh, I get it
You
now.
get
Like
it.
I get it. All these clothes in here are the same clothes that I want in other stores, but at the other stores they
Yeah.
cost like 100 and some dollars, like $60, and everything in here is like 10." I said, I understand.
But I
I
will say,
apologize."
you have to go with somebody, and that person, their one job is to stay in the line because those lines are wild.
Yes, they are.
If you go by yourself, you have to be so committed to wanting, like, I need to want this item with my whole chest. Like, I need to want everything
Yes.
in my
Yeah.
shopping cart with all that I've got if I'm going to commit to that line because that line is insane. So
It is
either go super
insane.
early or go with a partner because it ain't it. It ain't it.
When I went to LA last year for a wedding, I needed to go and buy, I guess, a few shirts for the trip. You walk into TJ Maxx and you see the line wrapped
Mm-hmm.
around the corner, and you sit there and you wonder, is it really worth the wait
Yeah.
in line for these shirts? And I had to be like, no, I'm not really. I don't really need it. But I mean, I understand as you get older, just a lot more
Yeah.
things about maturity that you understand. TJ Maxx is amazing, but to an aside.
Yes. Period.
So Martin Luther King, it was a great day. I liked
Yes.
the
It was a
event,
great day. Yeah. It
and
was a great
before we
day.
got cut off, go ahead.
No, you go for it. You were the one that was
Um,
yapping when we got cut off. I was been
before
talking about tea.
we, well, T, I guess segue into I guess food. I know we'll work on the segues, but the tradition before the Martin Luther King parade was always to go to Tony G's or
Mhm.
my favorite restaurant after the fact, which is, oh my god, I can't, Mr. Mrs.
Is it Ma
Wow.
Harper's?
No,
Because she has, like, the
it's
best
Mrs.
gumbo ever.
C's or something. I'm so sorry. Like, I go to that restaurant like every time I go down to San Antonio, and I can't remember the name of the restaurant because it's on the tip of my tongue. But the old location, it used to just be a house, and I remember somebody told me about it
Mm,
one day, and I went in there, and I was like, "This is one of the greatest restaurants ever." So it was always like you explore the east side of San Antonio. You understand what the constituents over there want from a political perspective, but then at the same time, it just opens you up because I mean, San Antonio is the biggest small city ever, but if you live in the west side or the far west side,
yeah.
there's like you don't really go to the south side unless you have to work like me, or you don't really go to the north side. You mostly just stay on your side of town. So when you have to go to over the east side, whether it be to Spurs games or one of my, there's a lot of
Mhm.
favorite clubs that I like to go over there, or the Martin Luther King parade, or the cultural centers over there. That's about it. So one of some of my favorite. Is it saying trying to reconnect again on your end?
It's you just look like a robot.
All right, we'll
Like,
give it
I'm
a
actually
second.
podcasting you from Mars. You're
Well,
not even from the the world.
I'm not actually in Texas. I'm actually in Spain right now. No,
Right? No, you it truly feels like I'm, like, trying to find, like, your satellite.
who would have thought that when we started podcasting, one of the biggest obstacles would be the internet connection? Like that's crazy. Like I thought we had solved this in 2026, but
No,
apparently not. So
no.
I guess we can kind of translate segue into our next topic, which is the upcoming debate, and also in San
Yes.
Antonio between two really accomplished politicians, and then we'll expand into the wider state because we are a Central Texas podcast. But if you want to
Yeah.
go first with your take.
So in February, the San Antonio Report, along with the Greater Chamber and Tech Block, are hosting they're calling it, I think, the Great Debate. And it is with
Hmm.
current Bexar County Judge Peter Sakai and former San Antonio Mayor who is running on the Democratic ballot for the primary election against Peter Sakai, Ron Nirenberg. I'm really interested about this because Ron has notoriously always declined debates when he was running
Hmm.
for mayor. So it's been a minute since I've actually seen him in a debate. I think the last time he was in a debate, he was debating against Greg Brockhouse. I think the
Hmm.
first time. So it's been a minute. So I'm really, really interested to see just kind of what the dynamic's going to be if they get a little spicy, because when it was already like presumed that Ron would be running for county judge. Judge Sakai had put out like a really spicy Facebook post and was just like, he's just looking for a seat. He's just using the party for his own advantages. Like, I'm here for you. And it was like, oh, I've never seen this
Uh-oh.
spice in Peter Sakai before. Like, this is intense. So I'm interested to see kind of what's going on. I know that the Northwest Democrats had a like meeting recently and both of them showed up and they were speaking. I didn't go. And I also know that the
Hmm.
Metro Chamber is also hosting some type of debate or like a talk. I love when everybody's just like, it's not a debate, we just want to hear from both sides. And it's just like, no, it's gonna get spicy, guys. Like,
Let's temper down the conversation. It's just a talk. Like, you don't have to
yeah,
attack each other, but
yeah. So that's gonna be
what it was.
one to watch, obviously locally, because I mean, it can. I think it's just different. I think Bexar County, I've always said this, Bexar County is like the Wild West. Like, it is this
Hmm.
weird gray area where like the state's always like, oh no, that's a city issue. Like if the county does something wrong or the county's like in some type, there's any questions on the county. I don't want to say that they do something wrong, but there's any questions about the county, city will be like, well, is that take it to the state? Like the state should be able to handle them. The state's like, oh no, that's a local issue. Go back to your city.
Right.
And so they live in this like weird gray area where they get away with a lot. And so I'm really curious to see what the current judge's responses to how he's been able to mitigate some of those accusations and challenges, and what Ron's vision is for being like, this is what we're going to do. Because I think Ron comes from a structure at City Hall where it's very black and white. I mean, Andy Zagovia keeps
Right.
you on check, right? Like, I mean, Andy's the first one to be like, no, sir, we can't do that. We're going to get sued. So it's really going to be
Andy, we
interesting
can't
to,
do anything in this city, so I don't get.
I mean, but is he wrong? Look at how many lawsuits we're in. And
Yeah,
he's just
yeah,
like, I told you. I told you.
yeah,
Poor Andy's like, and here I go, earning
yeah.
my
I'm sorry,
paycheck. Poor
sorry.
him.
No, we unfortunately we can't. I'm gonna do my best Andy impersonation. I'm sorry, council. Per view the statute, we cannot do that.
Yes.
But
That is not within
when
our
was the?
statute of. So yeah, so that one's going to be a big one. The actual judges races are going to be interesting. I know that on again a lot because Bexar County is a predominantly Democratic community. That's what's on everybody's radar right now locally. I know that Judge Rosie Speedland, there's been some controversy with, I guess, how her employees are kind of coming back and giving responses to just like a weird work environment. Folks that have been very
Hmm.
supportive of her throughout the years are just like, this is just complete like slander. I think that what's really gross about running for office is just how the knives come out. It's like, why, if this was such an issue, why is this just now coming out, right? And so
Yeah, pick my time.
it's it's going to be interesting just to see like what knives and money in the war chests. The what?
No, I said you got to pick your time when you come out with the bad
Right.
like information. You know,
100%.
you don't want to do it too early. You got to do it right at the time when the constituents are trying to make up their mind on who
For
to
sure.
vote for. When was the first time you met? Do you remember the first time you ever met Peter Sakai and Mayor Nuremberg?
Yes. So my first interaction with Judge Sakai was at he was running in his first time, and it was I think him and Ina Minhares and I want to say Ivalice also. They were giving a talk. They were giving their pitches, and
Mhm.
he was just very sweet. And I will say one thing about, you know, the judge is that he's always been super, super sweet, always is like, you know, will greet me with a hug, ask me how I'm doing, ask about my family, is like always really happy to see me. But like I will always remember he was just like very like intentional about like making eye contact, and that was very sweet and endearing of him. My first time meeting Ron was actually he was still in city council, and Larry the first firm that Larry worked for, his boss was like holding like a barbecue, like hot dogs at his house with Ron there because Ron was starting to like tap his toes in interest of wanting to run for mayor. And so working for an
Right.
engineering firm, they brought a bunch of their engineering friends over, and he was sitting standing in a corner, and I remember like looking at my husband being like, Who is he?" And they're like, "Oh, he's going to run for mayor." I was like, "This guy, he's not talking. Like he's in the corner." And
He
I
said
like went to
aura,
go
as they say today.
was he aura farming? Is that what he was doing? That's
Yeah,
what my son says. He's like,
that's
"Oh,
what
you're
I
so
like to do
aura
when I run.
farming."
Yeah, just like to stay there in the
So,
corner and let everybody notice my presence. Just
period. Very, very Meryl Streep of him, I guess. Just, you know, quiet power. And so
yeah.
I went up to him and I tried talking to him, and I could just tell like he was like really shy, and it was interesting for me to like not he didn't have the political presence that he has today. And then my
Mhm.
second time that I met him and was like really like introduced to him, I it was my first day at City Hall when I worked for District 1, and we were at the crosswalk right there when you would go from City Hall to where
Yeah.
the die is, like, or to the chambers. And I was there with a councilman, and so he was just like, "Oh, Ron, this is my new staffer, Lawson." And Ron just looks at me, and I was like, "Mr. Nierenberg, it's really nice to meet you." And he was just like, "Oh, you can just call me Ron." I was like, "Okay." And so then I
Yeah.
was just like,
Yeah.
"Pleasure meeting with you. Love your work." And then it wasn't until like obviously later that I find out like my former boss and him were like arch nemesis of each other, and I'm like over
Yeah.
here like saying like love what you do, but I guess I can't say that out loud anymore. So, but now we're
For
all
sake of
cool
timing, I would like to say that I would say probably for both of us, we probably have more experiences with Ron because we both worked in city council,
for
or
sure.
whereas opposed for Jessica, I think I saw him once at at county courthouse meeting, and then the next
Hmm.
time was just actually no. What's that burrito restaurant that they have in San Antonio that was really popular in
The
Texas? I don't remember.
burrito
What's it called?
restaurant?
What is it called?
Is it
The one
Freebirds?
that Freebirds, yeah, that everybody
I
says is
love
better than
Freebirds.
Chipotle.
It's from Austin, and it is better than
Uh,
Chipotle.
it's up there. It's pretty. I mean, I'm a Chipotle homer because
They've
that's
never
what I went
given
to first.
anybody
But when I went to
salmonella. I'm just saying.
that's true. Freebirds is delicious, but I just don't. It's like out of sight, out of mind. But then when I'm go, I
True.
was like, oh, this place is delicious. But I saw Just Kai coming out of a Freebirds once near North Star Mall, and I
Great
walked
taste.
past him. I was like, wait, aren't you Just Kai? And he was like, oh, hey, yes. I
He's
was
like,
like, "Does you
hi.
remember me?" He's like, "No, not necessarily." But I was like, "Oh, I work for Congressman." He's like, "Oh, okay." Well, I was like, "Nice to meet you," and that was about it.
Yeah.
With Ron, however, and I'll probably talk about this a little bit later, but I've spilled beer on him. Um,
Mo. You and spilling
he's
things on elected officials. We need to study this.
I spilled beer on him. I'm sorry. His security guards got so mad at me every time they saw me after that point. They were like, "Please, you don't have anything in your hand, do you?" I was like, "No, that was not even
I
my
have
fault the
secondhand
first time."
embarrassment for you. Oh my god.
I've he met my younger brother who was going to the Air Force. I took my brother to the what is the dinner? Not the dinner, the Thanksgiving dinner that people volunteer for
Oh yeah, yeah. Yes, the big thing. It's a huge
yes, yeah,
thing that
yeah.
happens. Yes. Oh my god, the name is blanking because they've been doing
It
this
is
for
it's
years.
out of
But
it.
yes,
Around Thanksgiving it comes back into our minds. But he met my brother and my brother took a picture with him and I was like, That's is that the first mayor you've ever taken a picture with? He's like, Yeah, I guess my brother was like 18. He was, I don't know. But I have that picture on my phone.
that's cool.
I did a thing where when I left the city of San Antonio because I thought I was the shit. I sent the email to to everyone in the city announcing my departure. And then I told them that I was going to go work for Congressman Hurd. I mean, you probably shouldn't do that, but I was like, F it, what y'all gonna do? Like, fire me? Like, I'm already leaving. And then
Like,
he
peace
wrote me
out.
back. He's like, good endeavors, Don. Nice talking, nice working with you, and we'll be in touch soon. And I was like, cool. So those are
Period.
some of the three like high level times that I've been around him. The beer, again, I apologize. I'll go into it in another time, but
I
I
will
think
say, I mean, once he realized that I did not hate him or have like this loathing for him like my boss did, I think that we
yeah,
like became cool. And like now, like I see him like, Ron, what are you doing? He's like, hey, how's it been? And like we like can just like shoot the shit a little bit. And I mean, he's cool. He's such
yeah,
a dude. He's such a bro, and I mean, I love his wife. His wife is just incredible, and his son went to the same school that my son goes to now, and so
hmm,
I mean, there's a lot more that I can relate to with Ron. So
right, right.
that's all
And then
that.
I guess that's kind of the decision that a lot of I guess Dems will have to make this
Yeah,
primary season is between someone who's established, and we all know the psychology behind people who are already
for
established. A
sure.
lot of people don't want to take the risk on somebody else, but then you have Ron, who for a lot of people in Bear County would probably be like, "Oh, I know him a little bit more because he's a little bit more
Yeah,
active." Nobody really knows what the county does. Hence the reason why I would like to be a
seriously.
county judge one day, so I can just be like, "Oh yeah, oh I can just claim projects and make it be
Six
known." But
figure
outside of that,
salaries. Six
yes,
figure
yes,
salaries and nobody knows what the hell they do. I think that's the thing that irks me the most is that it's like when we talk about complaining of how like our taxpayer dollars are going to waste, it's like, okay, well then
right,
tell me what the county judge does and tell me why you're not upset
yeah.
about that. And it's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, they're making six figures and you talk about wasteful spending, but you're not concerned about what they
I don't know.
do and don't do. Hello?
It's just like I'm
No.
a county judge. I just it's like a natural aura farming position where you just sit there and people be like, "What do you
Period.
do?" I just make sure the county runs. But do you? It's like maybe
I
just a
love
lot of
my favorite thing was when Marshawn Lynch was, like, already, like, 1 foot out the door in his NFL career, and he would just, like, go to press conferences and be like, "I'm just here so I don't get fined." It's like, "Well, how did you feel about this?" "I'm just here so I don't get fined." I always, like
that's
and
the
so I
county
will
judge.
quote that. Hell yeah, that's a cow it's like, "I'm just here so I won't get fined." And it's just like, anytime that I have to be somewhere that I don't wanna be and somebody's like, "How are you?" I'm like, "I'm just here so I don't get fined." Like,
Hey,
but
I'm
that
just
is,
here
like,
for
if
the
I had
job.
to hell yeah, that is totally what the county positions are right now. It's like, "We're just here so we don't get fined.
So
Vote
it
for us,
is
sit 4 years."
for. I mean, I do. I would love to be a county judge. I just want to hit the gavel and just be like, no, I don't know. Maybe one of these days we'll see.
Order
Well,
in our
if
court.
this exactly if the podcast takes off, then we'll
There
we already
is a
have 10
current
million
judge.
followers.
There's
Exactly,
a judge, Judge
exactly.
Ron Hell, that he has a podcast. I mean, this could be a segue for you, Dawn.
I'm just saying, just maybe I should just go look on a chart somewhere in like Texas, like the people who are not being challenged. Like, oh, I'll go ahead and just fill my name in the gap in some county. One of
Tommy
my favorite counties
Calvert,
outside of
Commissioner Tommy
is that
Calvert has a challenger this year. That is that is ballsy. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah,
Love
yeah.
that he has some competition. Yes.
Just gotta you can't just let politicians just sit there. Like just go ahead and challenge them. But we can also talk about Patrick Von Dolan. No love for the Von Dolans of the county. I mean, it's an uphill battle for real, but
It
we
really
still gotta
is.
acknowledge. I don't know. I've never met him before, but
I think he's the same guy that tried to run against Courage a couple years ago or a couple cycles
okay,
ago,
yeah, it's true.
John
That's true.
Courage for city council in District 9, and so he put him in a runoff. What
Hmm.
I do remember about him during that cycle was that he did mobile advertisement. So he had those like, I see him, I've only seen them in Vegas outside of this one situation where they have like the little cars. They look like the little Tokyo cars, like little Tokyo trucks, like they're
Yes,
tiny little
with the
vehicles.
billboard in the back.
And they just have the billboard. And so he
Stole my idea.
had that with his signs, and he was just going on 281 back and forth and into like the main areas of San Pedro and just like the common areas of District 9. And I was just like, huh, I've never seen somebody just rolling up like in this economy with these gas prices.
Yeah,
Like it was in
yeah,
2020, Don. Like, I mean, it was
yeah.
not the
That's true.
best time to be using your gas. And so I like that was the last time I really had to think about Patrick Von Dolan. So,
Definitely.
and it put Courage into the runoff. John Courage came out successful and was able to finish out his term limits. But you know what? It's interesting. I will say the Republican Party is very strategic on who how they position certain people, and they don't split hairs. So they won't say like, "Oh,
No,
Von Dolan," and then you have, like, what is its name? Chris Schuhart that will sometimes run too. Like, those are kind of their key token boys when it comes to these major seats. They don't put them against each other. They'll strategically
no,
place them so that way they can funnel support to those people when they need it most. And I wish our local Democratic Party was more strategic and not pitting people against each other, because all it does is it just implodes the party. And not just the Bear County. I mean, honestly, the Democratic Party as a whole. One of the books that I read over the holiday break was 107 Days, Kamala Harris's
hmm
autobiography on her campaign. And it, as somebody who was running in a very parallel time frame as her, it was very validating to hear, like, it was these are not outlier situations that are going on when it comes to these, strong structured party, systems. And we gotta just be better about, outsmarting people and
hmm
getting the right people into positions of power. So, will be an
Well,
interesting March primary
as a
race.
devil's advocate on the show, I'll take that position. I would say the Democratic Party's doing just well. You know, y'all can keep infighting.
Truly. I mean, what is it? It's like the the definition of insanity is to continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. I mean, that's kind of where we're at with this. And I hope that as a new generation continues to bring like new air into this, that we see change. But I've also just seen there's such an entitlement with the Democratic Party that is icky, and it doesn't speak to the working person that wants somebody in a position of power to just work for them. Like, nobody gives a damn about how
Right.
many parties you're gonna go to, or who's your best friend or whatever. Like, at some point, we like San Antonio in particular, at some point we gotta start voting for people based on their merits and not what high school they went to. But we don't seem to know how to get out of our own way. I think, going back to the judges race, one thing that's been successful for Ron is that, he's an Austinite. He was originally from Austin, and he came here and he's been able to establish himself as a San Antonian. And so, um, he gives everybody else, all of us, San Antonio transplants, because I'm originally from South Texas, a little hope that eventually we can stop seeing people for not being born and raised San Antonian. Because, I mean, I always say that the shiniest diamonds are the ones that have multiple facets, and they're the ones that shine the brightest and can get the most stuff done. We're not getting much stuff done right now, not in a way
Bring
that we
it back all the
can.
way to the beginning, the constituent services. So, I mean, if anything,
Hell
like
yeah.
your party is one thing, your platform is one thing, how many times you appear on TV is one thing, but the way you connect with your constituents is going to be the most important thing
I've cried with
as
so
a
many
as an
people
elected
in these
official.
communities. I mean, cried with them, laughed at them, broke bread with them. We talked about that. I mean, and I think that that's what they want. And I always said, like, I would much rather you call me Mija than you try to remember my name, because it's such a term of endearment and means so much more to me, because it means that you trust me and you welcome me into your circle. And so I think that that should be the goal for a lot of these politicians and these people running for office, is to receive the mija mijo effect, which is, I mean, for those that don't speak Spanish, it's kind of like, I don't want to say sweetheart, because in the South, if somebody calls me sweetie or sweetheart, I'm gonna punch them in the throat. So, but it's like it is a honey, or like a darling, or like it's a very sweet term of endearment in Spanish when you're like somebody calls you mija or mijo.
Yeah.
And so I definitely think that that should be the goal for the Bear County folks running for office, is to get to that level of trust.
Well, the next time I go to the south side of San Antonio and I go to R&J's Country Bar, I'm gonna walk up to a lady and be like,
Hell yeah.
"Mija, would you like to dance with me?" And then she's be like,
Bro, you have to be at a certain age group too. You can't just go up to like a girl you like. That's creepy.
uh, so I can't
Oh,
just call
speaking
everybody
of,
Mija. Yeah.
no, speaking of, you had homework. What is your
Oh
horoscope
yeah.
sign? The people want to know.
I'm an Aries, so that is my horoscope sky.
Ooh.
Yeah. What is that, a negative or is that a positive? Like, how does that work? Do
That
I fit
actually
the
that
Aries?
checks out. Yes, it checks out with you also being a Slytherin and a red lightsaber. Very much. Don is in his Sith era, and I love
Yeah.
this for you. Okay,
But
cool.
I mean, I don't show it like publicly. Like all the evil stuff,
Neither
I
do
just like
Siths.
sit there.
Hello.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Palpatine was like over here being like the nice guy until like all of a sudden
That's
it's just like
true.
actually I'm like, screwing her like with the brain of Anakin
Uh,
Skywalker and then turns him
I
dark.
would
It's like,
like
hello.
to be a Leo though. I think when I read the description of Leos, they
Really?
seem I don't know. It's just an outgoing like person. I'm like, is that what Leo is? Like an outgoing, like you like to go
No,
meet people. No.
no, I did. Well, I guess I had Leo friends that were girls and they were fine, but they're very attention seeking. I dated
Okay, maybe not.
I dated 2 Leos and they're very egocentric and don't
Okay,
recommend.
no, never mind. Okay, probably
No.
not then. There was
No.
another sign that I read. Maybe next episode I'll say the signs that I would like to be. I mean,
I
the
love
Aries
this.
is like, why can't I just choose a sign that I want to be? I mean, I guess it is based off of your
This is
birth
a
and everything
fun
else of that
side
nature.
quest. This is a very very fun side quest for me.
I'm
This is the TM
Aries. I'm
Brewing. If I had to put like my high
Slytherin.
tea, my like hot tea, and then the TM Brewing. The TM Brewing is like figuring out Dawn's like signs and like the perfect like sign match for you. High
This
tea would
isn't go-
probably be like the upcoming debates, and then my hot tea. Maybe my hot tea is the upcoming debates, and like my high tea is just like we have a like I don't know what before this while we're recording I'm in preparations of the ice storm that's supposed to be coming into Texas
yes.
and San Antonio, so that's like my high tea right now is trying to figure out how to stay warm and what soups I'm gonna make. Yeah,
If y'all need me to send down some jackets or something, I'm like, I will not tweet this time, but if you need me to send out some jackets and things, I got you. Hand
Ted Cruz was
warmers.
seen on a plane.
Yeah. Hey, me and Ted be in Cancun. I'm sorry for y'all.
Uh,
Like we know how to
I
get out
mean,
when it gets cold.
it is our
Why would I
Potawatomi
stay in
Phil.
Texas? Why
It
can't
is
I
our
just go down to
Potawatomi Phil.
Cancun?
We
So,
saw Ted
you
Cruz
know,
on a plane. He has been sighted on a plane. That is everybody's sign to start panicking. You know what? I will tell you, Ted Cruz is good for 2 things: knowing what team is going to lose when he goes to a college football game, and knowing when it's going to snow. Because whatever team, or the super, or like any sports, because he was actually at a World Series for the Astros, and the Astros lost that game. And then he
so he's
went and
like
he was
Drake.
dude, he's so bad. So any team that he's going to go cheer, they end up losing that game, and
It's
it's
the
like
Drake
it
curse.
is like listen, one thing about me, I know I'm not going to buy a scratch off because I'm going to lose my money. Like, I know better. Like, I know not to gamble. And I also know that Ted Cruz going to a game is going to like cause like an issue. Like, that team's going to lose.
The fan base is
Save
like,
your money and go
oh
home.
hell. You know, hey, why do he's out here at the stadium? We already know what's going to happen. You know, thanks for the curse. You know,
Yeah,
we really thought this was going to be our year, but apparently, unfortunately,
wasn't.
Indiana doesn't have Ted Cruz as a senator because they might not be in the position that they are right now.
Dog,
But
can you
uh,
imagine? That's hot.
anywho, well, I guess this concludes our episode. We already did a closing, so this is 53 minutes, but a lot of it in the middle has been cut up. So I'll go ahead
Yeah.
and get out the video episode first for Sunday, and then I'll do the audio on Tuesday and Wednesday. I guess that's episode 2.
Episode
See you.
1.
Have a great day. Oh yeah, that's right. This is episode 1. Last one was a trailer.
The official episode. We're officially
Exactly.
official.
Not gonna have, so we had 10 million followers. If you want to be 10 million and 2, go ahead and like and subscribe. We're just gonna take this thing to the moon. Next thing you know, you're gonna see us on
where
Netflix.
you're apparently at because your signal is so great.
It's I guess I didn't know that the ops would be Time Warner and Comcast, but you know, everybody
Still
trying to
running
hold
on
us back, but
singular.
we're gonna keep. Where's Net Zero at when you need them?
Oh man.
All right, then.
All right.
I'll
Until
see
next
you.
time.
Yep.
Bye.
Peace.